Girls, we're going to do a magic trick. I have a book of matches here, and I'll light my matches. Ta-da! It's an amiibo!
Got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. Got you and me, sister, in his hands. Got you and me, brother, in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. Got everybody in his hands. Got everybody in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. He's got the rainy day and the sunny day, the sunny day and the rainy day. Got the rainy day and the sunny day. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the mama and the papa in his hands. Got the little bitty baby in his hands. Got the mama and the papa in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Got the whole wide world in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. He's got Russia and China in his hands. He's got North Korea, America in his hands. Got Russia and China in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me in his hands. Got your parents and your relatives in his hands. Got you and me in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands.
Hi friends, we're going to make a bird feeder for Craft Corner. We have a plate, a paper plate, some peanut butter, a hole puncher, some string, and a butter knife, and some bird seed. So we're going to spread. First off, we're going to put 3 holes in the paper plate. Then we're going to, we have the string, but I didn't get it. Oh, here we go. We'll get a, we'll cut the string. So we got 1. They should be about the same length. to make sure you get your parents to use this X-Acto blade, or you can use a pair of scissors to be safe. You always want to be safe, so I had to use the X-Acto blade because I didn't have scissors with me at the time. So you have 3 pieces of string. It's going to go in each one of these holes on the plate. We'll set that aside. We're going to put peanut butter on the bottom of the plate. Just spread it on there. Birds love peanut butter. They absolutely love it. It's an essential fat for birds, their peanut butter, so you can spread it on the sides of the dish. Make sure you put a generous amount of peanut butter in there. I could add more, but I don't want to take the time. And then you have the bird seed. I'm just going to open up a corner here. Make sure you use a pair of scissors. And we're going to pour it in. This is outdoor bird seed. Make sure it sticks in all the peanut butter. Okay. Now we'll take our strings. Make sure you put a knot at the end. And you can hang this from a tree. You can even put more birdseed in here. This is a great craft for little kids. They can get into nature. Getting into nature is a really great thing for kids. We want to get more and more kids into nature. Instead of get them off their phones. So there we go. We can hang this on a tree. Tie a knot at the end here. We can hang this on a tree. And if you want, you can put little foods, different kinds of foods on the strings. You can put cereals, different kinds of breakfast cereals on the strings to fill it up, and so the birds have that. Okay, so that's Crafts Corner. Hi, I'm going to tell you a story about Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. During the Yuletide Festival, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table gathered in the Great Hall for a feast, where they sang their songs and they told their stories, and they had the feast. Then all of a sudden, a tall man on a very gigantic horse, all dressed in green. Everything was green. His skin, his hair, his beard, which was a bush, was all green. And he comes up there and he says, "Who's the leader of this feast?" And only King Arthur says, "I am." And he says, "Come join our celebration." And then the Green Knight says, "I did not come here to feast." But I want to prove the courage of your famous warriors. And then Arthur says, well, if you want a battle, we can definitely engage with you. And he says, I did not come to fight with beardless children. I have come to play a sport. I challenge any of you to strike me with my axe, on the condition that if I survive, next year at this time I shall strike you back. Give me your axe, said King Arthur, and I shall grant your wish. The Green Knight dismounted from his horse. He put his axe in the king's hands, but many protested King Arthur for taking up this challenge, and Sir Gawain said, this is not a task for our king. He said, let me do it. So King Arthur gave him the axe, and King Arthur told him, put your heart and mind into this. When you hit him really hard, make sure we put an end to this challenge. So he hits him really hard, knocks his head clean off his shoulders. The head falls to the ground, but the body of the green man stays standing, and the arm reaches down, the hand reaches down and picks up the head, and the head starts talking. His eyes are open, his head starts talking, and he says, remember, we have a challenge. Now meet me at the Green Chapel in a year's time, so I can have my strike against you, or otherwise you are going to be dishonored. And honor was more important than preserving your own life at that time. So the Green Knight got on his horse with his head, and he rode off into the woods. Over the next months, the young knight dreaded the passing of each day. He watched winter turn to spring and spring into fall, and on the eve of All Hallows, he knew it was time to begin his long journey. So Sir Gawain was headed on his journey. He escaped various bandits and wild animals. He crossed many rivers, slept on very cold ground, and he endured sleet and rain and hail and all sorts of different weather patterns. On Christmas Eve, he found himself lost in the forest, and then he found his way to a castle. The drawbridge was lowered, and he was allowed inside. The Lord and the Lady came to visit him and told him that he shouldn't spend Christmas alone with the bears and wolves, and he must join them for a holiday celebration. So Gawain stayed with them for a while, and for 3 days. And while he was there, he was tempted by the young wife, and she kept trying to kiss him and stuff, because she felt she needed to run away with him. So he said, every time I go out to hunt, let's have an agreement. Whatever you get each day shall be mine in exchange for what I win in the woods. So he went into the woods, and he went hunting, and the lady came to him and said that she fell in love with him, and she wanted him to take her away with him. And when he decided, he was tempted, but he said, no, I'm not going to. So she kissed him on the cheek. When the lord of the castle came back with a deer, he gave it to Gawain. And according to the agreement, the young knight was supposed to turn over whatever he himself had gotten that day, and so he gave the lord a kiss. Then he went hunting again the next day, and in his absence, his wife tried to kiss him again, and she begged him to take her away with him, and he said no. He was tempted, but no. So that night, the Lord returned with a boar and gave it to Gawain, and he gave the Lord 2 kisses. The third night, he went hunting, and the woman came up to him and said, hold on a minute. Okay, the third day, and it was cold and clear, and the Lord went hunting, and the wife tried to tempt her guest again, but failed. And she gave Gawain a silk belt that was green and had gold on the trim. And she said that this would keep a weapon from hurting him. So he kept it, and he wouldn't give it over. When the lord of the castle came home with the skin of a fox, an old fox, he decided to keep the belt for himself and not give it to him. So the next day he went to find the green man at the green castle, and or at the green chapel, and he finally found the green chapel and went up to the door of the green chapel and yelled inside, and he said, "Who dwells here?" And the guy says, the green man says, "Stand still, receive now what you've come for." So he came up to him and attacked his head. He said, "Put down your spear, take off your helmet, stand the blow I have owed you for over these 12 months. And Sir Gawain says, "I am ready." Then he unlaced his helmet and leaned forward without fear and offered his bare neck to the steel blade. The Green Knight raised his green axe high, then swung it through the air. Sir Gawain did not move as the sharp edge of the axe touched his neck. It gently pierced the skin, causing only a few drops of blood to sprinkle the snow, and that was all. And that was it. And he stunned. Sir Gawain felt his head, and it was still there. He drew his sword and faced the knight. "One stroke I have taken," he said, "and that is all I will take, according to our agreement." The Green Knight turned toward him. His face was no longer green. In fact, it was the face of the lord of the castle Sir Gawain had visited. "Brave knight, be not angry," said the lord. "I have instructed my wife to tempt you, but you passed the test of faith and honor that every true knight must pass." Sir Gawain was confused by the generosity of the castle lord. "Cursed be my cowardice, for indeed I was false to my word," he said. "I kept the green belt from you." He unclasped the belt and held it out to his host. "No, you must keep it," said the castle lord. "I know already of this deceit, and I have punished you for it by slightly piercing your neck. You must keep it forever to remind yourself of your adventure with the Green Knight." Sir Gawain hung his head sadly. "Ah, but his belt shall always remind me that I have failed through cowardice," he said. "Nay, not cowardice," the Lord said gently. "Let it remind you instead that you love life very much. It was this very love that caused you to conceal the green belt from me, so that you might live." The Lord then invited Sir Gawain back to his castle, but the young knight was eager to return home. He said goodbye, and homeward he rode. Many days later, all of Camelot welcomed Sir Gawain with great joy, as if he had returned from the dead. And that is the story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Hi friends, we're going to sing a song. Sally had a steamboat, the steamboat had a bell. Sally went to heaven, the steamboat went to hello operator, please give me number 9, and if you disconnect me, I'll kick you from behind the refrigerator. There lies a piece of glass, Sally slipped upon it and broke her little. Ask me no more questions, I'll tell you no more lies. Boys are in the bathroom, zipping up their flies are in the meadow, bees are in the park. Boys and girls are always kissing in the dark. Okay, we're going to do a science experiment. We got water in here. We're going to add pepper to the top. We're going to take a toothpick and we're going to add a little bit of dish soap and touch it to the water. And well, look at that. Look what soap does to water. Okay, now we're going to do the same. Well, we're going to do something different in this one. This is milk. And then we're going to add some food coloring. So you got green and red. Blue and yellow. And then we're going to take the toothpick that has some dish soap on it. And we're going to put it in the milk. See what happens. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh wow. You could play with this all morning long. Look what soap does to water or liquid. Could be any dish soap that you want. Okay, thanks. That's my science experiment. Bye.
Take, you know, baseball is a great sport, and this is an old song that I learned, and it's on iTunes if you want to check it out later. Here it is. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts or Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back for it. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. So what's your favorite team? Go ahead, yell it out. Okay, now sing it with me. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts or Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Root for the other guys. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Okay, I'm gonna hit a home run now.
Hi friends, we're doing a we're doing the library corner, and I have The Great Monster Hunt by Norbert Landa and William Warnes. And this book is really great if you're scared of monsters under your bed. So, the rabbit hears something. It's coming from under her bed. She gets the help of her friends, and they come running, and the mystery's solved. So that's this story right here, and it's really great. Really great for young kids looking for a great story. And I got this at my library. So come get this book at your library. It's called The Great Monster Hunt by Norbert Landa and Tim Warren. Okay, thanks. Hey friends, we're going to talk about a book from the library. We got Magic Tricks by Paul Glickman. If you want to do magic tricks, this is a good beginner book to get you started. They have, it's also illustrated by Carol Nicholas. They have mind reading tricks, magical strength, mirror magic, the magic floating sausage, the disappearing coin, the magical balloon, the magic card trick, the hole in the hand, the invisible ping pong ball, seeing through paper, magical balloon blow up, pick a card, paper clip fun, the great pull away, the giant paper tree, and making 10 out of 9. And these are very good beginner magic tricks, and I recommend this book. Some of the tricks are so elementary and easy that you'll get your confidence in doing magic tricks. So you got to get this book if you're just beginning. And that's it. Hi boys and girls, we're going to do a song called Mr. Sun. Do you have rainy weather by where you live? Maybe you want the sun to come out? Well, here's Mr. Sun. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind that tree. These small children are asking you to please come out so they can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind that tree. These small children are asking you to please come out so they can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind that tree. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on, won't you shine down on, please shine down on me. Wow. Woo! Hi friends, we're going to do some advice. So if something doesn't work out in your favor, don't look at it really hard and with regret. Don't keep thinking about it. Just move on to something else. Move on to the next thing. Look for the silver lining because it's a learning experience. Take what you learned that is good and use it again. And that is my advice. Thanks. Bye. Hey kids, you like books? How about The Shade Riders and the Dreadful Ghosts? The Shade Riders and the Electric Werewolves. Entangled Adjustment. This is a prologue of the Shade Riders. Smash Up. It's another prologue of the Shade Riders. And Bogart Chaos. Another prologue of the Shade Riders. All from Amazon or Smashwords.